On this episode of Mudhole TV, the Mudhole crew takes flight off of Jensen Beach, Florida, sending their drone deep over the Atlantic to drop off bait and catch fish not usually accessible from the sand. With sharks in mind, they've specifically designed rods from MHX to handle the demands of catching big game from the shore. Will these experimental builds be able to keep up with the monsters that lurk just off the coast?
Hey guys, Chris here. We're out on the beach in Stuart, Florida here. We're gonna do a little surf fishing today. We got a beach house rented. It's a beautiful day. The seas are pretty calm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put out some normal surf rods, stake them out, maybe throw a 2-ounce sinker, kind of fish on this inside trough here. But I've got the marketing guy here who is our resident drone pilot, and we are gonna do some drone fishing. We're gonna put some bigger baits. We caught some bonita on the trip, and we're gonna use that for shark bait. We've got squid, we've got some other, cut bait, and we're gonna fly the drone out. I can't wait.
That's right. Yeah, I think we can score a couple big fish just sitting here on the shore, just waiting for them to come to us. So we're gonna take this drone, we're gonna hook it right to the bottom, and we're gonna fly these big baits out and see if we can get something big.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get it rigged up. I've got the rods. We sat down, we specifically designed the rig for this. Jay's the drone man, I'm the rod man. We're gonna figure it out. Stay tuned, I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Mudhole TV is brought to you by MHX Rod Blanks, the benchmark for rod blank quality and performance. Browse over 500 of the world's best blanks at mudhole.com/TV.
All right, Jay, so we got everything started. We are on our way to shark fishing off the beach, but with a drone.
That's right. So we saw a couple videos on YouTube, and we wanted to know, could we build rods specifically for drone fishing? And I think we did just that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a prototype. It's called the X-Fighter, coming out of MHX, and that's going to be the one. I knew it when I saw it for the first time. It's got a little extra length on it. The class is very, very heavy. I mean, we're talking something that can do 80, 130 class stuff, but it wasn't as long as I wanted. It was 6'6".
Yeah, and when you're drone fishing, you have to keep the line up out of the waves. You've got to keep the line out of the water for several reasons, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to wanting to add a little bit of length, I also had to take into account that the rod has a very large outer diameter. So what I did is to get that extra length and to account for that, I actually went with an AFCO Unibite. This is a size 4, so it's not the biggest one they've got, but for using it in a rod holder like on a sport fisherman or something like that, the 4 is about as big as you want to go. So when you think about using this, the rod blank actually stops down here in this ferrule. Yeah. And then you have all of this additional length to use not only to elevate your line up over the waves, right, but it'll give you a little bit more leverage and stuff to hang on to. So moving forward, I knew it was going to be something that we were going to have to hang on to, and possibly for a long time. So I went with an oversized EVA grip here in the front, and then of course I had to throw in a little shark decal there.
You did a real nice job. That looks great.
Thanks, man. So you've seen it. I'm not usually the cross wrap guy.
No, you're not.
But I had to do it because we figured it would be on camera. Exactly. So moving forward, we're fishing with heavy gear. This is a 50 wide from Shimano. So I did start with a roller guide. This is a size 47, and then transitioned out into the CRB brand turbos. Those have an elite ring, so they can handle the monofilament, the braid. And then of course, I went in and I added the roller tip out there. Just the reason for the roller tip is when you're fishing on the beach, you do have sharp angles. When that line is racing out of there, like we saw in the video, yep, you're going to want a roller tip, especially with some of the heavier lines. So really, that's why I went with this rod. And of course, it also gave us an excuse try out a new prototype.
Exactly, and I'm really excited for these X Fighters. I think we can really reel in some big game with these boys.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we tested it a little bit, but we still haven't put the full heat on it yet.
That's right.
All right, Jay, we're on Stewart Beach. We're gonna put it up, see if we can't catch a shark.
Let's do it.
Let's fly this bird. All right, guys, so we got custom built shark rod here. Then we got the shark decal on the blank for good luck. Running a roller guide to the CRB turbos with a roller tip. Got a 50 wide. How far are we out, Jay?
What are we trying to go to?
We can run it out a little farther.
How much line do you have on that spool?
This spool is somewhere around 700 yards.
Yeah, you definitely want to have it at least 400, 300 yards. So right now we're about 450. What do you think?
Yep, I'm feeling pretty leveled off here on the spool. That's good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up.
Yep. I'll confirm the bait in the camera. We definitely want to make sure that you can see it before you drop it.
There it is. All right, guys, I'm gonna tighten this up. Set it. I'm gonna run this drag fairly light because if a shark picks this up and he feels weight from the rod, from the line, the drag, he's gonna drop it immediately. So I'm gonna back this drag off. What I do is I run the lever drag up to strike, then Jay continues to go offshore. It will manually clip out of the holder, fall, and then I need to back this drag off, and then I actually put the clicker on, because putting the clicker on adds not only a little bit of drag here, but it allows us to really hear it if somebody takes off with it. So.
All right, guys, another thing to remember is whenever you're flying the drone for drone fishing, you definitely want to bring it back right away. It's always fun to get some video while you're out there, but if you get it back right away, it saves the rotors from overheating, keeps your battery life up, and keeps you fishing. All right, put another one out there.
You ready? All right, go ahead, ease her out. My drone's got a drone. All right, so we got the drone up. We always wait before we drop it, and then I shut the bail, hold the spool, come tight, and then Nick's gonna ease out, and that's gonna trigger the mechanical release. All right, coming tight.
Mudhole TV is brought to you by Mudhole Custom Tackle, the world's largest supplier of custom rod building. Build your next custom fishing rod at mudhole.com/TV.
So now that we've covered all the safety things, how to get the bait out to the fish, bring your drone back, we gotta talk about how to rig this drone in general.
We do, absolutely.
And we saved that for last because you know how to do it.
Well, I kind of learned how to do it, and it took some whiteboard work and a little bit of trial and error before this whole thing went down, because I didn't know exactly the conditions that we were going to be in until we got there.
Right.
I'm going to walk y'all through exactly, how I determined this whole process.
So basically, start us at the drone and work your way down, because this thing's what, 4 to 6 yards long?
Yeah, it's, and of course when you were telling me some of these specs, and I did a little research too, and I'm also thinking to myself, well, the last thing I want is fishing line around rotors and propellers and
exactly
an expensive drone that's hovering over the Atlantic Ocean. Like, I don't want to be a part of being the one that brought this thing down. So we were using, this is the Big Eye circle hook. you can use anything from, you know, an 8, a 9.0. Between the size of bait and the size of shark you're chasing, you know, that's where you're gonna have to decide. So I knew the hook. Now, I also knew that we're gonna be dealing with wire. This is number 15 wire. This is the Malin single strand. This is 278 pound. You can go all the way up to size 19. I knew that we didn't really need a whole lot of wire because I go to the Momoy high catch. This is 300 pound mono. So this is about as close to clear rope as you're gonna get. You know, a lot of guys that marlin fish and do really, really big game stuff, they're using this on trolling lures and stuff like that. So in addition to that, I'm actually using heavy swivels. I mean, we're talking 400, 500 pound swivels. There's a lot of opening here. They don't need to be the expensive ball bearing swivels because you're not having to fight twist as much as you would, you know, in a trolling lure. So these are a size 1.0. I think they're around 480 to 500 pound swivels. That's what I'm using to connect all of these pieces together. And then what we've got is we had to figure out what we were gonna do about this weight. So I am using a weight slider. You can see it's just a mechanism that allows a tube to be clipped to a pyramid sinker. A lot of the surf guys use this. This is actually from our smaller surf rod, but you can actually clip anything you want to this, and this tube is hollow and it will slide up and down braid or monofilament or fluorocarbon and not damage the line, and it'll give you a little bit extra room for play in the line. So what I did is I created a slider section. So this actually is just a small section that, you know, in addition to all the length we have at the bottom, this just creates another 1 to 2 meters of slider. And then I have my dropper loop that's typically about 1 meter long. And I tie this into the side of my swivel. So this, I mean, this worked for what, a half a dozen drops?
At least.
And then to finish it off, this is your main line. So that right there ties into the swivel and just goes to the main line. Now, one last piece that I thought of when we were going through this whole process was, because you have so much leader of this rig out, how do I know when it gets close? I really do not want to wind all of these giant swivels up into the guides and damage any of the guides. So when I was in the rigging section at your local bait and tackle shop, you can actually get glow beads that are footballs, right?
Perfect.
So these glow beads is actually the first thing that goes on. The reason for that is that glow bead will not get inside of that roller top. But the best part about this is, you know, you got some headlamps on, you're on the beach, you can tell the reel's starting to, you know, kind of fill up, and you know that fish is in close, and then all of a sudden,
here comes the glow bead.
Here comes that glow bead out of the surf, and it's like, boys, he is right here. So that's the rig. And then, of course, when we were offshore, we caught some bonita that we staked up, made some bonita sashimi, sashimi or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we just staked them right up, hooked it through that skin. That skin is nice and tough, and it was great. It was a ball. I can't wait to do it again.
I know. So how long was the rig in total?
You know, I would say if you added it all up, we're probably looking at 25 feet.
25 feet, and that hangs directly off the drone. So you've got 25 feet of line, weight, and bait hanging off the end of the drone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, so that's it. I walked you guys through the rig, talking about building the fishing rod to do the drone fishing.
Yep, we got the drone safety out of the way so everyone can stay safe and do this and have fun without getting in trouble or getting hurt or losing a $2,000 drone. We talked about the rod we made specifically for drone fishing with our X-Fighter prototype. And that's it. We're gonna get out to the beach. We're gonna put all this to test and see what we can catch.
Absolutely. So guys, if you've got any questions, be sure, put them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer, whether Jay gets in there or I, help you guys with the rig. And of course, there's certainly more than one way to put this rig together.
Definitely.
So, if you guys have any questions, again, I'm not an expert. I just figured out how that we wanted it done for what we did, and I think it worked pretty good.
It definitely did.
Awesome.
We'll show you right now.
That's it. So we're gonna run back out to the beach. Let's see what we catch.
Mudhole TV is brought to you by CRB Products, developed exclusively for rod builders by rod builders. Check out their full catalog of equipment at mudhole.com/TV.
It's gonna take a while to fight up this big. Look at that, look at that. It's just sitting there, I guess. Wow. That might be a big shark.
All right, boys, I'm gonna try to lock this up. Yeah. Ready? All right, I'm gonna lock it up. He feels like he was more than the last one. I don't know if he's just got a bad attitude or if he's actually bigger. Feels like he's pretty close. I got that glow bead. He's right here in the surf. Let's walk down there. I don't want to get too close because I got a lot of leader out. Who wants to get him? Steve, try to stay behind him if you can. Bad, man. Another black tip. Woo, pretty good fish. Hey, somebody get the bolt cutters. Steve, you got him? I got him. All right, Guff, I'm gonna roll him over. Guff, cut that hook right there. Yep. Yeah, your boy. Cool. Woo. Good job, guys. All right. Woo. Go. Hey, boy. Good job, man. Hey. Woo. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but I don't think I slept a wink last night. I mean, we're back out here in the morning. I want to do it again. I mean, after we caught that big shark, I'm still replaying the whole scene in my mind.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, for the first time drone fishing, I'm gonna say it was a huge success. I didn't think that we could catch something that big from the shore, but we did it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we went through the whole planning process, I mean, you have the drone knowledge, you know how to fly it. I built the custom rod to handle it. I knew what reel we were going to use. I had an approximate size on the bait we were going to use because we went out, we caught those bonita, we brought them back. You know, there's certain size limits on this, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you can't fly a brick out there, but you know, you'd be surprised what these things can handle. And I still think the best part is we didn't know if we were going to catch them during the day or at night. But once your bait's out there, you can just sit back and wait. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we did have to check them every now and then, but before it got dark, we flew it out one last time, and you know, it kind of has that lull of, is it really going to happen? And when that reel started going off on that 50 wide, those clickers are loud, and
the whole place. Like, there's 7 of us. We jumped up, it was like a fire drill, and it just all happened so fast, and I can't wait to do it again.
I was just about to say, let's do this again, definitely soon.
Absolutely. So guys, if you want to get into drone fishing or you want to get into custom rod building, we're going to help you do that. Run over to mudhole.com, check out the resources page. We'll walk you through how to get started in rod building, or if you're already a rod builder and you want to step up your beach fishing with a drone, we can teach you how to do that as well over at mudhole.com. And what do you think?
I think we crushed it, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me out, Chris. I appreciate it.
I cannot wait, and let's go do it again.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.